For my next card, I'm going to be using the Artful card kit in the Abundant Florals theme. It's absolutely stunning. Here's just a little peek at some of those papers that are in there. We've got gorgeous distressing, and we've got music notes, flowers, florals. The colourways are amazing. They're absolutely beautiful. I love this, and I could create with this all day long, but I've just got one card for you that I have made. We've got a bit of a vintage theme running through here as well, and don't forget, as well as those double-sided papers, we also have all of the die cut pieces, and these are just a few examples of them. Some have sentiments on, some are left plain so you can stamp your own sentiments, some are frames, some are tags and ribbon strips. So I've got everything that I need here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I've taken a piece of white A4 paper, folded it in half and scored it, and then I've got my backing paper. Now, I like to go with quite a dark matte layer just to really have some contrast and make things stand out. So I've got one of the darker sheets here, and I'm going to just tape this down flat onto my card. And of course, with matting and layering, what you're also then doing is strengthening your cards. So at least you add to the layers, you strengthen them, you make them a bit sturdier. If maybe you're using card bases that aren't a really heavy weight, this is a great way of doing it by adding a few layers to the front. Now the next layer I'm adding is one of the beautiful backing papers. I mean, it is absolutely stunning. I've cut it widthways, so we've got a little bit of the florals, some of the ribbon strips, and then this background. It actually already looks like 2 or 3 different layers in one piece. Now I am going to bring in a little bit of brown with some distressing, and I'm just going to go around the edge very lightly. So not a lot, just enough to make it look as if this edge is finished off, okay, by adding a slightly darker shade to it. Now, you could do this with a grey, or you could do it with a nice mauve colour if you wanted to, or maybe a green, because we've got green in the leaves. It's entirely up to you. I tend to opt for browns, greys, blacks, those sort of neutral colours that I know will work with or whatever colours I'm putting on my card. So you can see that really finishes that off. I'm going to use a foam tape now just to lift that layer up a little bit. And as you can see, the back of the papers is equally as pretty as the front of them. So you do get more than one sheet of each. So of course you don't have to decide which ones to use. But if you're going to be rolling or folding these, if you're going to be making gift bags and boxes and such, let's put one more strip down the middle as well to make that really sturdy. If you're making boxes and bags and things, at least with these, the inside is going to be equally as pretty as the outside. Just placing that on there, just ensuring that the entire card base is has an equal border all the way around the edge there. The next thing I did was I fussy cut. This is from a larger sheet of paper, and we've got a few of these with some really large flowers. I've cut around the image, and I've then actually taken my pokey tool, which is here, and nearly lost it then, and I've just rolled all of these outside leaves there just to give me a little bit of extra shape. I'm being really careful with these berries because they're very fine and delicate, and rolling some of the petals as well. So this I'm actually going to glue down over sort of vertically on my card like so over that backing paper, but I'm also going to put a ribbon strip which comes with the die cut pieces on here first. So a little bit of glue for this one first. And I'm just going to snip this at the top. There we go. So this almost comes to the bottom. I'm going to do the same with this die cut piece, but I'm going to slot this in a moment where I think it fits best, rather than guessing and then covering it up. So these flowers here, I'm just going to place those down with some glue just along the middle. So you can see here, I'm not going to put any glue to the edges. If I put glue to the edges, I then may need to lift it back up again to get this shape. So by leaving those edges free, you can add the shape to these. Now I can stick down this ribbon strip. A bit more glue here. Now you can of course do this with foam tape as well if you wanted to. Just pop this underneath here at a slightly higher level than the other one here. And then I've taken a die cut sentiment. So this one says thankful. It all ties in beautifully, as you can see the colours. I purposely chose a dark sentiment tab here. So we've got the dark border, we've got the dark ribbon strip here as well, and then we've got the dark here. And that's just showing us all the different layers. And of course between the layers we've got the lighter colours. So it's really differentiating between them all. So this I'm going to place down with foam tape. Now of course this leaf under here will need to flatten for this one to go down, but everything else around it can be lifted up. And don't forget, all of this has come, besides the card base, which is just a piece of A4 white cardstock, it's all come from this Artful card kit, so I haven't needed to buy anything else. So just placing this slightly off to the right there, making sure that's straight, beautiful, and again lift up some of those flowers, make sure we've got lots of shape in them. And the same with these. And then I did also fussy cut some smaller flowers from the papers too. So there's lots of different options of different size and shape flowers. And again, we can do some shaping of the petals. We can roll them over, we can lift them up and just give this flat piece of paper a little more shape. A bit of glue just down the centre of the flowers here. I'm going to place that over the edge there, and that's just given that even more detail. So let's lift it up and see the dimension that we've got. Isn't that absolutely stunning? This has all come from that one Artful card kit. It looks beautiful. You can play with adding even more layers if you wanted to. I'm happy with that. I think that's absolutely gorgeous.